Hello and welcome to Carved in Stone, where I pick a topic and select my Mount Rushmore of that topic, so basically my top 4. But I will mention more than 4 selections. Lists, of course, are subjective, and narrowing it down to 4 is narrowing it down quite a bit. So I'll explain why some may fall just short of the mountain. Happy almost Halloween. The show won't be airing on October 31st, so we celebrate today instead. I'm your host, Marty McFly. Just kidding. I'm your host, Shawn Chabam. And on today's episode, in honor of Halloween being less than a week away, I'll be sharing my Mount Rushmore of Halloween movies. This podcast is not affiliated with or endorsed by Universal Studios, Compass International Pictures, Trancas International Films, Dimension Films, or any of their properties. All movie images referenced in this episode are sourced from Wikimedia Commons and are believed to be in the public domain or available under a Creative Commons license. To clarify, this mountain encompasses the Halloween movie franchise. Michael Myers movies. You won't see Hocus Pocus, not because it's not a good film, but because it doesn't qualify. Think Michael Myers. So, you've probably already figured out, if you're a fan of the Halloween films, Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, the lone Halloween film without Michael Myers is not on the mountain. So let's dive into what is there. But first, spoiler alert! I may give away some key moments in the films. If you've never seen the Halloween movies, I don't know what you're waiting for, but keep spoilers in mind. Or if it's just been a while and you want to feel like you're watching again for the first time and go in fresh, spoilers do follow. First up, can't beat the original. The first Halloween film gets a spot atop Mount Rushmore, Mount HALLOWEENMORE, whatever. This film was just fantastic. It earned Jamie Lee Curtis her Scream Queen title, portraying Laurie Strode, the sister of Michael Myers. Everything about this movie is done perfectly. The music, the suspense, obviously the screaming, the acting in general, Dr. Loomis trying to warn everybody and his pleas falling on deaf ears. We got introduced to Michael Myers in this movie, and they really built up the suspense before we ever saw him clearly as an adult. Laurie notices him throughout the day, but her friends don't pay attention to her. She also has no idea at this point that she is the biological sister of Michael Myers. The movie is set in the fictional town of Haddonfield, Indiana, which almost becomes a character itself in subsequent films. Michael Myers is shot by Dr. Loomis, but don't assume him dead. First pick, the first Halloween. The original is just, chef's kiss. The next Halloween film I'm putting up there, likely an unpopular choice, but this is my mountain. Halloween H2O, 20 years later. Jamie Lee Curtis reprises her role as Laurie Strode, but is now going by the name Carrie Tate after faking her own death. It ignores the previous 3 films in the series, which I usually hate, but don't mind so much here. There are more instances of Michael Myers hunting down family members in those films that are never mentioned, but I could just as well assume Laurie didn't know about it. She went so far as faking her own death so she could go into hiding and then work at a private boarding school in California. I figured she just never heard about her brother's other murders. I mean, she thought she killed him, and it's not like the news is reporting on the boogeyman. So it's a plot hole, but not a major one, in my opinion. Allow me to interject for a minute. After a rewatch of Halloween H2O, it's pretty clear that the timeline is picking up from Halloween 2. I'm about 99.9% sure that you can just ignore Halloween's 3, 4, and 5. You can definitely ignore 3, but 4 and 5 included Michael Myers again. You can ignore those 2. I am almost positive of that. It doesn't affect my ranking, but I wanted to acknowledge that without redoing the whole video. So
Here's me again.
If they even are assuming this film is in the same timeline as those other movies, maybe they're not, so maybe it isn't a plot hole. Now, later, when they rebooted the franchise in 2018 and pretended all the movies between the original and that one never happened, including Laurie's death, that irritated the hell out of me. I thought there should have been a disclaimer at the beginning saying something like, this is what could have happened if yada yada yada, or something along those lines. But back to H2O, Laurie now has a son. She's a functioning alcoholic. It's Halloween. Her son, John, who is supposed to be at Yosemite, actually stays behind at school, unbeknownst to Laurie, to hang out with his girlfriend, and it becomes a huge fiasco. When Laurie figures out that John didn't go to Yosemite, she doesn't even confront him, as far as I remember. She was so terrified of her brother that her son, flat out lying to her face, flew under the radar. LL Cool J has a supporting role in this as Ronnie, a security guard at the school, and he provides some comic relief. He's awesome and allows you to smile a little while you're on this wild ride with Laurie and her brother who just won't die. And let's stick with unpopular opinions for the next reveal. Halloween 2007, a reimagining of the original directed by Rob Zombie. We get a more in-depth backstory to Michael Myers than we've gotten in previous films. We actually get to see what makes him tick and get a glimpse, more than a glimpse really, into his childhood. One thing that has always bothered me about remakes, reboots, reimaginings, whatever you want to call them, is that too often they just make the same movie with different actors. If you ever watch the Vince Vaughn version of Psycho, it's almost identical to the original. They may as well just have colorized it. That's what I like about this version of Halloween. It is a completely different film. I didn't feel like I'd watched it before because there were so many new things happening and new storylines created that it really was a movie that was able to stand on its own. All right, finally, to wrap it up, Halloween 2. This is the second overall film in the franchise, not the second Rob Zombie film, although that's a good one too. I love it when a sequel picks right back up from where it left you. You don't miss anything, kind of like the Back to the Future films. There's no need for awkward explanations or excuses for why something changed, and that's exactly what we get here. Halloween 2 picks up right where Halloween stopped. A gut-wrenching scene early in this film when Sheriff Brackett finds out his daughter Annie has been killed. He proceeds to blame Dr. Loomis. We find out about Laurie's connection to Michael Myers in this one. She is his sister. This film was supposed to wrap up the Michael Myers saga, but when they made Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, and Michael Myers was nowhere to be found, fans got angry, and the creators realized they made a mistake and brought him back for the rest of the franchise.
The two films I had narrowly missing out here were Halloween 2018 and Halloween 2 2009.
Both different story arcs from the original. Not quite Rushmore ready, but good films. Honestly, there are only two movies in the franchise I dislike out of the 13. Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch, which I've mentioned a few times now, just because it's so bad I can't stop talking about it, and Halloween Kills. Overall, an amazing franchise. I do think it should remain retired. No need to beat a dead horse. 11 of the 13 movies are great to very good. That's an incredible .864 average in baseball. I did mention earlier that I didn't like the whole Halloween 2018 story arc, completely ignoring Halloween 2 up until that one. But if you just let the movie stand on its own, it is very, very, very good. So that is my Halloween movie franchise Mount Rushmore. To recap, Halloween, the original, Halloween H2O, Halloween 2007, and Halloween 2. Happy Halloween! I'll see you next time. Go Birds!